canvas from Hobby Lobby, okay? You can get these at Hobby Lobby. It's just a little wood canvas. I think they actually even have these. Correct me if I'm wrong, my folks. Yay, Wendy. I think that they have these pre-primed as well. I don't have a pre-primed one. All I have is this wood one. So we're just going to go for it. Kimberly, we just showed this. Look how spectacular. Great. Yes. So yes, this is an 8 by 8. Let me write that down somewhere. Y'all, my brain, I'm telling you, you're going to have to just bear with me because I don't have it together. I do not have it together today. And I don't even have anything to write on. I'm digging through the trash. What in the world? All right, hang on. Ouch. I need a piece of paper. I need a piece of paper. Here's a piece of paper. All right, hang on. Here we go. 8 by 8. 8 by 8. That's what we're working on, right? And I am just flying by the seat of my pants. I just grabbed some color out of my bin, and I'm gonna split my canvas in half, okay? I am going to, yeah, I could have done that. See, I told y'all, my brain ain't here. I don't know what to do. I could have done that. I'm gonna take this down now. So this may work out. It may turn into mud, but we're going to figure it out, aren't we? I'm going to split my canvas in half, which is going to be, I don't know, ish. It don't have to be perfect. Let's do it about right there. And I'm going to paint the top of this. I know, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to have some tea because I don't have red coffee. I am going to paint this with this color. This color just so happens to be, let me grab a napkin. This is tropical blue. So I'm going to grab, I need some clean water. All my brushes from yesterday are still sitting in my pot. That's how bad it's been. Thank you, Debbie. You're so sweet. Sometimes when I'm in this state of mind and I just need to just put paint or, you go, Carol, I'm a little jelly. Just put something on a canvas. Sometimes it turns out really, really good. And sometimes it does not. So we're going to pass Grace around like it's mashed potatoes today. Tropical blue. I'm going to paint the entire top section of my canvas. And then we're just going to see what happens next. I'm going to start on my sides. Since this is wood, we definitely need to finish that out. So I'm just going... And I'm just going to do one coat because we're going to use modeling paste. So it's going to cover up almost all of this blue, but I want to have a little bit of blue just kind of peeking through. This would look pretty with that crackle on top, wouldn't it? Yes, that's right. This is my de-stressing time because there has been no de-stressing time all day today. It has been a very stressful day. And my poor daughter, bless her, she's so upset and worried about this challenge. She's worked hard too, though. Past Grace, that would be a good T-shirt, wouldn't it, Carol? Kathy, sorry. Past Grace around like mashed taters. She has worked so hard. All right, so we got the edges. And let's just layer down and do the top. And let's get her done. I'm getting it all over the place. Do you see the blue going everywhere? Okay. I need to take a breath and quit worrying. And I believe Steve Gray is here. I bet he didn't bring no red coffee, did he? Nope, no red coffee. He didn't bring it, y'all. I think he should be punished. He should be punished. All right, so that's the blue. I'm gonna rinse that brush. I'm just gonna hit this just a little bit with my heat gun. I'm gonna turn the heat down so it's not super hot. And we're just gonna get this dry so we can move the tape. And this is such a pretty color, y'all. It's not really showing up the right color. It's a little brighter than it looks on camera. Steve did not take the hint, Carol. He did not take the hint. Let's get this a little dry so we can move our tape up. We don't really probably have to move our tape up. We can just, I don't know even why I did that. I could have just taped. I mean, I could have just painted. It's not imperative that it's perfect. He done left the room. Oh shoot, you scared me. He snuck up on me, y'all. He's sly, slick, slick, slick. It's been a bad day, boo. It's been a bad day. All right, so I'm gonna take this off. And this is not really necessary, but if you really want a nice straight line between your colors, all you need to do is put your tape down, make sure you burnish it really good so you have a nice, crisp line, okay? Now, you can, once that's dry, make sure it's dry, bring it back up, and you want just a tiny sliver of that blue showing at your tape line so that you don't end up with a little thread of wood, okay? A little bit of that wood showing through. So now you can burnish that down, burnish it down. He's a terrible hint taker. And I think I'm gonna do the bottom black. We're gonna go crazy. Let's do black. Oh, my page got hacked, Daniela, that's all. Got hacked, snatched away from me. Removed as an admin. That's all. It's been pretty stressful. Right in the middle of my sunflower challenge. All right, I'm gonna get some of that blue off. Now I'm gonna take my black and I'm gonna do the bottom. And then we're gonna draw that and then we're gonna try a little modeling paste. And we're gonna do something different than maybe some of y'all have seen before. Some of you probably have seen this, but I'm gonna apply some modeling paste and then we're gonna blend color into our wet modeling paste, all right? So I'm trying to make sure I am in the camera range because my iPad keeps freezing and I can't see anything. All right, black. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all let your friends know we're here having a good time without them too. They are gonna be sorry. Because we're also going to gift this. I don't know, Mickey. There's no telling. There are probably more hackers out there than there are. What's something that's in mass quantity? There's more hackers than Carter has peels. Right? Remember that saying? I don't think, is Carter even still a pill company? A pharmaceutical? I don't know. All right, so we're gonna just apply this black and we're gonna get it all dry. Thank you for the sprinkles. Oh, I just saw a big old nasty thing. All right. Now, let's dry that. Did your daddy say that? That's right. More than Carter has pills. It is sad. It's very sad. No, Cindy, I bought this at Hobby Lobby. It's just a wood canvas from Hobby Lobby. Oh my God, Pat. I don't know. Margaret, was it Liverpool? Carol still says it. That's true, Debbie. That is true. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. This is a Seek 1 heat gun. Hang on. Let me get this dry and we'll talk about it. So it's from Amazon and the brand is Seek 1. Seek 1 heat gun. Okay. It has variable speed and variable heat. This is the speed. This is the heat. So that was a little backwards. So Seek 1 heat gun, Amazon. All right, so now we can take this tape off and we have a nice primed surface. As I agree, Melody. Karma. Karma. You know what they say about karma. You know what they say. Ugh. All right, so I think we're going to do it like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my handy dandy Bucket O modeling paste. This is how I buy modeling paste, y'all. By the gallon. I love it. I use it a lot. And we're going to divvy out some modeling paste onto our plate. Hey, Maureen. So I'm just going to take my little plate and I'm going to scoop out some modeling paste. I don't know how much I need. I'm just going to scoop it out. That's probably enough, but I'm going to get a little tiny bit more. All right, that's good. And look, that's how I roll too. The spatula went right back into the modeling paste. Don't be me. Oh no, Charlene. Thank you guys for the stars. If I missed yours, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Elizabeth. You guys are so sweet. Oh, girl, Deanna, I have to because for several reasons. I'm trying to hawk my wares and it keeps me sane, right? Because I could easily just go home and sit on the sofa and feel sorry for myself, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so on this plate, I am going to divvy out some more of this blue. I'm just going to put some of these colors out. This is the tropical blue. And this color is any brand works. I buy Liquitex. This is Moody Blue. That's me, Moody. I'm Moody. Thank you, Margaret. Moody Blue. It's a little bit of a smoky blue. See that? Yeah. And we got some bleach sand. Oops. Well, Bonnie, the only place that sells Envy is that place where you have a link to. No, they make that there themselves. It is their own product. Thank you, Vera. So that's the only place you're going to be able to find that. Ugh. gray, which is slate gray, and rich espresso. This is metallic. Hey, left the room, Maureen. I was fussing because he didn't bring me any wine, and he left the premises. He didn't go get me more wine. He just left the room. And this is antique gold. I don't know if I'm going to use all these, so y'all better pay attention. This is antique gold, right? So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set this here. Y'all can still see that 8x8, right? Trying to make sure everything is in view. I'm going to scooch this down a little. All right, these are my colors, 5 colors, 6 colors. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get, I agree with that, Maureen. I'm going to get modeling paste on the back of my palette knife. And I'm just really quickly going to cover the blue, okay? So I'm not trying to be perfect, and I'm not trying for 100% coverage. I just want to get most of it covered and not see a ton of the blue undercoat, because as thick as I'm applying this, it is going most likely to also crackle. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit on this edge, not worrying about it too much. I don't care if it's perfect. We're not going for perfect today. We're going for art. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit on the top. Can y'all see that? Just very messy. You see how messy I'm being? We'll do the side. Just get it on there. All right. While that is on there wet, here's what I'm going to do. See how I still have stuff on my palette? I'm going to go into gray, or on my knife. I'm going to go in and just dab some of that gray onto that plaster that's on my knife. And I'm just going to barely touch, all right? I'm just going to pull it across, barely touching. That was excessive. I didn't really want that much, but that's okay because you can move it. You can grab it back up, move it around, and we'll smooth that down. All right, now I forgot white. Let's do some white. I'm gonna put a little bit of white because the modeling paste is not stark white. So now I'm just gonna get a little bit of that white, and anywhere where I have too much gray, I'm just gonna go back over it with my white. Now I think what I'm gonna do is pick up a little, see, I'm still using that dirty knife. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that blue that we used on the top, and I'm just gonna come in and add some of that blue back on the top wherever I feel like it needs it. Now I'm gonna scrub a little bit of this other blue too, whatever it was. Milky something blue, I don't remember what it was. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that in. And then again, if you feel like you have too much color, you can go into your whites and just cover some of that up. So you just grab your white and just hit a few spots, cover it up. All right, now I think the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit of gray, and I want you to watch what I'm doing. My knife is still dirty, not cleaning it, but I'm gonna lay my knife on its side like this, okay? And then I'm gonna bump into that gold where I only have that gold on kind of one side of my knife. Do you see that? It's not covering the whole bottom, it's just on one side. And I'm gonna run that gold along that line, just like that. All right, voila. Now, I'm gonna wipe all this off, and we're gonna start on the bottom. And I'm gonna start, I'm just gonna put it on, okay? I'm just gonna get it on just like we did the top, just as much as we need, right? So I'm just gonna come and just barely drag and come right up to that line. And I'm just gonna pull it over this way. This is a lot easier to do with a board in lieu of a soft canvas because of sometimes, unless you have a canvas that's really tight, right? So keep that in mind. I'm gonna do my edges real quick. This is kind of a messy little art piece. And here's what you can do too. If you feel like it's too smooth, see how smooth that is? Take your knife and just slap it. Slap it down and then just barely tickle and flatten it out, and then it has texture. All right, let's do the bottom. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you do when you are in a funk and you don't know what to do. You just make a mess. And a lot of times it turns into a dog, but a lot of times it doesn't. All right, so let's just fill in. I'm gonna leave some of that black. It's all wet on the sides now. I don't know how to turn it. So see how I'm going horizontal? Because I want everything pulling in that direction. All right. All right. So now what I can do is I can go in. I'm gonna have to tape this thing down. I can go in. I'm gonna wipe a little bit of that off because I had a lot on there. Are y'all following me? Is this making y'all crazy? I'm actually gonna get a little black. I said I was gonna use 6 colors and I lied. I'm gonna stick a little bit of black right here by that bronze. And I am gonna get black on my palette knife, just like that. And right under that gold I pulled across, I'm just gonna pull across some of that black. And you can bring it down a little. Bring it down. All right, black's strong, so I'm gonna wipe a little bit of that off. I'm gonna go in and grab some of the bronze on the back of my palette knife, see that? And I'm gonna come on top right at the break in the top and the bottom, and then maybe add just a little bit. I think I went too far, so I'm gonna grab a little black again and go right on top to take it back. And now we're gonna add some blues. I'm literally just deciding what to do as I go. I agree, white and black do not count. Let's do this dark blue. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of blue amongst this black and bronze. And y'all, when I'm applying this on top of this color on top of the modeling paste, I am barely touching. This is no practice. This is you get what you get. I am barely touching, okay? So I'm adding paint to the back of my knife and I am barely touching. Well, I touched pretty heavy there, but I am not putting any pressure on my palette knife. I want to just tickle, barely touch that surface and tickle a little bit of that color in, because if you put too much pressure, it's just gonna pull that modeling paste too. And the goal is just to lay the color down into the modeling paste and not and not move the paste, just to lay the color down. All right, so I told y'all I got way too much modeling paste. Look at that. I need to put that back in the bucky. All right, I'm gonna get some of this bleach sand, which is kind of an ivory color, and we're gonna pull some of that through. Just here and there. A little bit more maybe. I'm gonna come down here to the bottom. Thank you for the sprinkles. And just barely touch. You're not pressing into your paste. What color have we not used? Let's add a little bit more of this lighter blue, the kind of gray blue. We'll add a little bit of that down here. Okay, so the goal here, guys, is just to get colors that you like, colors that are complementary to each other, and then just add them. If you start making mud, like if you're pressing too hard and you're intermixing your colors too much, it'll start making like mud. And then you just need to stop and let it dry, and then you can come back and work with it again. But that's the goal, is not to make mud, all right? I want to get a little bit of black on my knife, but I don't want but a tiny bit. So I'm going to offload so that I barely have any. And I'm going to come down here and just tickle with that black. And you know what? Here's the deal. If you make a mess, who cares? Just put more modeling paste, let it dry, put more modeling paste on top, and do it again, right? Let's see. This is acting crazy. All right, so now I have white again, and I'm just gonna come in, barely touching again, and kind of kick back a little bit of this color in some of these places where I want a little more white to show, and the color is a little strong. So just a little of the whites. Now on this one I'm not, and I'll show you why in just a second. Let's put a little bit of white on top of that. Maureen, are you cringing? She's like, I hate abstracts. I don't like them. I'm picking up a little bit of gold. I'm going to bring that gold back in to the top where we kind of erased it with our black. Let's get a little bit more. A little gold. I love gold, blue, and black together. We'll add a little bit of gold in a couple of other places, especially on the edges there. A little bit more. I don't want it blobbed up, so I'm just going to use my finger to spread it. This is when your hands get really messy. And I'm just going to hit my edges. A little bronze, do the same thing. All right. All right. This is pretty dark, but I don't really mind. In my head, I was thinking something a little lighter, but I think I'm gonna stick with this. A hot mess over here. I'm gonna try to lift this up and show you what I would do with my sides at this point. So my sides are textured, and you can see the blue and the black through the sides that we started with. That's why we're gonna leave those be. We're not gonna try to put all those other colors. The minute I decided I was gonna do an abstract, because that's all I could wrap my brain around, I thought Marlene is not gonna like this. I'm gonna make you come down here and do an abstract with me one of these days. We're just gonna do it. You and Lou, just come down and play. All right, so this is what we ended up with. Now this is a little bit of a hot mess, but it's okay. We're gonna let it dry, and then tomorrow, I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow because I have a funeral and I have a birthday. Not mine, Beckham's party. So if I can't do this tomorrow, if I run out of time, I'm sorry, I'm holding that way too high. If I'm running out of time tomorrow, I will definitely come back on Friday. I wasn't going to do that to you, Maureen. And we're going to add some glass to this piece and resin it. Now this is, I want to challenge you, every one of you who are here today. If you have modeling paste, I want you to find yourself, just get a piece of scrap wood. If you don't have a wood canvas, get yourself a piece of scrap wood and do what I did. You don't have to use my same colors. You don't have to use anything that I did. You can just paint it all one color. You can paint it all black. You can paint it all blue. You can paint it all gray, and just do your modeling paste in sections. Okay, so put your modeling paste on the top section and then just use your palette knife to lightly, you want color on the back of your knife, and then you want to barely touch. Just tickle, 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 tickle. Christina, I can't wait to see. You have to post that and let us see. And there ain't no catching up. You just do what you do. So you're just going to tickle, tickle, tickle that color on. You don't want to put enough pressure on there that you're moving the plaster. You're just kind of tickling that paint on top of the plaster. Okay? So I want to challenge you all. If you have some modeling paste, I want to challenge you to do this. So let's talk about adding glass. All right, like I said, I brought some Starfire to the table. Brought a little gold. All right, let me pull this down a little. I brought a little bit of gold. I brought some, this is Pacific Blue Reflective. I'm going to lay that right here. And I brought some bubbles, because you know bubbles, right? Awesome, Adriana. And I brought some seed beads, right? Okay, so we're just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna start adding things and see how I like it. We may pull things off. Just let it go, right? Don't make me sing Let It Go to you. So I'm gonna take my Starfire and I'm gonna put my Starfire up here in the sky. Oh, look at that fantastic piece. Also, by the way, if you're new here, you can get this glass on artshattered.com. We sell this packaged in 1 pound increments. All right, so I'm just gonna scatter a little bit of the Starfire above my big blob of gold. And I'm not gonna try to make a perfect straight line. Okay, I don't want a perfect straight line. There's nothing perfect about this art piece. So you want to keep your glass as organic as your background, all right? And I'm even gonna throw a little bit of this down here at the bottom. We'll just add a little bit right there. I don't want my glass sticking straight up though, so I'm gonna kind of lay some of those pieces down a bit. All right, so soon you should have an email from us in your email telling you exactly what you need to do to access the Facebook page. If you cannot find it, please email info@artshattered.com and we will send you in the right direction. But check your email first. You can search for Spring Sunflower Challenge Welcome. That's where all the directions are on what to do next, as well as a link to purchase a kit. Gold, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this gold in my hand, and I'm just gonna put that gold right here where the gold is. This piece, there's always one in every bag in there. Don't like you. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of gold where my gold line is, and I have a few extra nuggets in my hand, so I'm just gonna put these like right down here where that little spot of gold is. All right, we're going for gusto. We're just gonna go for it. All right, yeah, it could be in your junk mail because that seems to be where all my emails live these days. All right, now we have some Pacific Blue Reflective, okay? I like the reflective because it's a little darker shade of blue, but I'm gonna just grab a handful of that and add it where it's super blue right here. All right. And then I'm gonna evaluate. I'm gonna add a little more blue. And just a few, little nuggets of that over here. Again, I'm not trying to make lines and be perfect. I really want it to be super organic. All right, so now, what do I want? I want to get some more Starfire. And I'm gonna just dump some in my hand. That's a massive piece, I don't want it. And I'm just going to fill in right here where I put that gold. I'm just gonna add a few more nuggets of Starfire, maybe in the middle of that blue. We'll throw some back up here. And it was quick, wasn't it? I looked down, I already knew what I was gonna do. I was like, yeah, let's add more. Let's get a little bit more glass of gold. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that gold down here at the bottom. We'll sprinkle a few nuggets of gold into our blue. And a little bit more blue. We're going for gusto. And I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit more of that blue. And I'm even gonna add a few pieces into my gold. Just a couple of nugs. Check it out. I love it. I think it's perfect. We're gonna resin, so you can see where the gold was, I added gold. Where the sky is, I added clear. Then I added a little bit of Starfire, here, a little bit of gold here. Then I just kind of intermixed it a little. So all of that is going to kind of blend in and float into our background after we do our resin. So then once we were done with our resin, we're gonna add bubbles and seed beads, okay? But we're gonna resin first because all that stuff likes to float. I think I'm gonna mix 1.5 ounces. Thank you, Catherine. I'm gonna mix 1.5 ounces of resin because we have a lot of glass. So I wanna be certain that we cover this well, okay? So I'm gonna get a pen, and on cup 1, I am going to mark cup 1 at 3/4 of an ounce and cup 2 at 3/4 of an ounce. That will equal 1.5 ounces. So we're gonna use 3/4 of an ounce of hardener, 3/4 of an ounce of resin, and then we'll have our 1.5 ounces. So what I'm gonna do now is just push this up out of my way, and hardener first. I'm gonna put my gloves on. Gloves first. I do too, Julie. I would literally do abstracts every day, but they would all be beachy. It'd be like, okay, you obviously only do beach abstracts. They would all look different, but they would all turn into beachy abstracts. So, you know, you have to think outside the box sometimes. All right, glove up. We are using art resin. Here's what it looks like. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Amazon, or even artresin.com. All right, so, and hopefully I will be carrying that in my studio very soon. All right, so I'm gonna start with hardener. So I'm gonna pour the hardener in 1 cup, 3/4 of an ounce. I'm gonna squeeze that in. Be very slow because it likes to grow on you. Hey, Inga, how are you? Did you move to Michigan? I'm thinking you did. Go slow because it does tend to grow on you. You think you have 3/4 of an ounce, and 10 seconds later, you have more than that. So make sure you give it time to grow and fill up your cup. Give it a 10, 15, 20 seconds. Our other cup, we're going to use resin. So I'm going to squeeze in 3/4. This is probably way more than we need, but better safe than sorry. All right, so we have 1.5 or 3/4 and 3/4, and that's really too much to put in one cup because we need space to mix together. And if I pour this into here, we're only going to have a tiny amount of space for mixing, and that'll sometimes prohibit you from mixing thoroughly. So I'm just going to use one of these plastic disposable little 8-ounce cups, and I'm going to pour all my juice into this cup. All right, so we'll pour our hardener and our resin. Make sure you get it all. Don't leave any of that stuff behind. Get it all, as much as you can, out of that cup into your mix cup. All right, let me scrape one more time. Get it in. Get it in. Scrape it off your spoon or your mixing thing. Now you can wipe these out and reuse them if you'd like. Don't use water, just wipe them out with a paper towel or an alcohol wipe, one of the little resin wipes. So now we're going to do our resin. Let's get all that juice out. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Scrape the side. Make sure we get it all. And get it off the side where it's dripping. All right, so we have our resin and our hardener in one cup now. And here's what we're gonna do. Thank you, Elena. So glad to be home. Oh, girl, I'm so happy for you. So now we are going to take our mixture and we're gonna stir this for 3 minutes, okay? You're not gonna beat it to death. You're just gonna gently stir, scrape the sides of your cup so that all that goodness is mixed together. There you go, Becky. You do you, boo. And what do you recommend? Okay, what size canvas did you use? And it's gonna depend on how much glass. 100%. So you see how much glass I have on my 8x8. So when we're done here, I'll tell you how much I used, and then we'll figure that out from there. All right, so we're just going to continue to stir. Catherine is timing me, and she will let me know when my 3 minutes are up. So if anybody has a question about our Sunflower Challenge, I would be happy to answer your question. You can get all the details for that challenge in that little link. See by your comments, by your comment bar, you'll see a little chain link. You can click that and get all the information you need to make a decision about whether you want to join our Sunflower Challenge. And I'm just going to tell you right now, you want to join. It's $10. And we would love to have you. Okay, so for an 8x8, let's see how much it takes me here, and then I'll be able to tell you better what I think. Catherine is an excellent timer. She is my timing girl. She's a good timer. She's a good admin. She's a good question answerer. Hey, Lane. How you doing? So we're just scraping the sides, scrape the bottom of that cup too. Don't forget the bottom. And just gently stir. Gently, slowly. So I am still like, I don't know if I said this earlier because my brain is broken. Steve's dad is still in the hospital. We are waiting on test results. That's number one. Number two is that my Facebook page did get hacked. They turned my ads off and locked me out as an admin. So if you see our Sunflower Challenge pop up on your Facebook page somewhere, we would love it if you would share that with your friends and family or anybody you think might enjoy joining our Sunflower Challenge, because that's the only way we are going to be able to get the word out at this time. Thank you, Catherine. Third, what else? I can't remember what other craziness is going on in my life right now. Just crazy. All right, let's pull her down, back in view. Or make what public? It is public. The posts are already public, Jane. We could all share the link. Yes, that would be so sweet, Kimberlyn. I would love that. Thank you, Debbie. Oh, international shipping. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It has been a rough week. So also we have spent months and months and months working on the ability to ship international, and we have now opened up shipping to international. So if you're in Canada, Australia, UK, whatever, wherever you are in the world, we have the ability to ship international to you. So we'd love to have you join us, because we can ship to you now. All right. Also, thank you for saying YouTube, Amber. If you do not subscribe to my YouTube page, we would love for you to go to YouTube, search for Art Shattered, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, just in case this meanie who hacked us blocks me out and I won't be able to access this page. So we'd love for you to follow us over there, just as a precaution, and just as a precaution, and so that we'll be able to communicate with you. So I did attend a funeral yesterday for a cousin. It was my first cousin's son, so it was my second cousin, but he was a baby. He was not a baby like an infant. He was 20, and he was killed in a car accident, and it was devastating to our family. So thank you for keeping us in your prayers for that. Yeah, it was, you know, losing any family member is hard, but losing someone so young is it's super devastating. All right, so let's drizzle and cover all of our resin. So I'm starting at the bottom and working my way up, trying to be very methodical so I can make sure we cover all these glass bits, because when you have this much glass on a piece, and there's a good bit, and it's scattered, it's kind of difficult to know where you started and stopped as you're drizzling. So just be methodical and just go top to bottom, left to right, so that you always know where you are. All right, so we're going to drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Thank you guys, you are so sweet. It may take every bit of this 1.5 ounces. It's looking like it's going to. So, Becky, I would say if you're going to use less glass than I used, I would still do 1 ounce, anywhere between 3/4 of an ounce to 1.5 ounces, depending on glass. Okay, let's just say if you use half as much glass as I did, then I would think 1 ounce will be plenty. If you don't hardly use any glass, then maybe 3/4 of an ounce to cover the whole thing. Drizzle, drizzle. Oh gosh. It's so hard when they're so young. It's just devastating. just don't understand it. It's hard to wrap your head around. So hard. All right, we're almost there. I've gotten all my glass covered, I think. I'm going to take one quick peek and make sure I don't see any more glass that doesn't look covered. And you can tell because when you pour the resin over, thank you, Tracy. When you pour the resin over, the glass takes on this wet, glossy look. I think, let me just turn and take a peek here and there. Oh, I see one little nugget right here. I'm trying to look. All right, it looks like, I'm gonna keep turning and just make sure. It looks like I got it all covered. So I'm gonna take, there's hardly any left. I'm gonna take what's left, and first thing I'm gonna do is add some up here at the top where there is no glass. And then whatever's left, I am gonna just drizzle it over where I have the most glass. All right, we'll just get it all covered really well. And I'm just scraping it off my stick. All right, let me scrape it out. Ugh. And drizzle, scrape it off my stick. And so this 8x8 took 1.5 ounces of resin. That is the max you're gonna need, unless you just cover every square inch of your piece with glass. All right, so let's, yay, Rebecca. Now what I'm gonna do, it's not like pulled all the way to my edges, so I'm just gonna use my hand, and anywhere on the flat surface where there is no glass, where there's also no resin, I'm just gonna pull that over. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now, this is a lot of texture, so the very last thing I'm gonna worry about is bubbles, because there's so much texture. You're never gonna get every bubble out, and you can't even really see them. And when I do something super textured, I like it to be a little splotchy with the resin, like have like linear spots of no resin. It just kind of ties in with the background artwork itself. Let me scoop up and put a little right there. I'm gonna scoop up a little right there. I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm not gonna resin my sides because I don't like the drippage that doing your sides creates. So what I'll do is tomorrow, when all this is dry, I will Mod Podge gloss my edges so that they match the top surface. Now I'm gonna pick this up and show it to you up close and personal. My iPad makes me crazy. My iPad will not stay on Facebook. Okay, let me see. It is so far behind. Okay, so here it is. See how you can now see the background really well when we had the glass on before we did the resin, it was kind of blocking out some of our art on the back. Okay, so adding the resin kind of helps that all become translucent. And now you can see the background and the glass. All right, so now I'm gonna hit it with the torch just for giggles. And then, I got some drips. Then we're gonna add some bubbles and some seed beads. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? I'm gonna hit it with my heat gun just for a quick second. Just go across. I need to let that warm up because I had it on cold earlier. Just hit it a couple of seconds just to hit any main little bubbles. And I actually see like from the texture of my plaster, I see some little lines that have no resin, or the resin has self-leveled, so it's not as high, and it's creating texture in the resin as well. I love that. Keeping it, not gonna mess with it. All right, one more time. Now, we're gonna put the icing on the cake, right? We are gonna grab some of these bubbles, all this glass, the Pacific Blue reflective, the gold reflective, and the Starfire, as well as these bubbles you can buy on artshattered.com in my little store. That's how Kristen stays employed. Right, Kristen? I dropped a bubble right there. I don't really want it there. I'm going to scooch it down just a little. And so I'm just going to take a couple of those little bubbles in my hand, and I'm going to scatter them throughout. They just add a little extra element. Oh, right, Kristen? It just adds a little extra element of shine because these bubbles kind of come off a little iridescent. I'm going to add a few more. I like it. A few more. All right, so we'll add some across the top. Maybe over in one corner. Y'all know I like things to be organic and not perfect. So maybe over in the top right corner, we'll add a few extra bubbles. And then we'll just throw the rest down in there. Now, last but not least, we're gonna really kick it up a notch. Kick it up a notch with these seed beads. These are called, they're bead treasures. They come from Hobby Lobby in the jewelry department. And they're called Miyuki, and they're size 8 crystal seed beads. So you see, I don't know if you can tell, they're kind of iridescent. So they flash pink and purple and blue, and they're so, so pretty. So we're just gonna tap a few of those in as well. Let me get the top off. I have not had red coffees today, but I definitely need some. Thank you, Elena. Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna tap. Now, here's what I like to do because I'm always worried that is if I'm tapping this whole tube, that I'm gonna tap too hard and it's just gonna dump, right? So I like to put a few in a cup and then tap out of my cup, and I'm just gonna tap and spread these seed beads all, I'm gonna cover every bit of it. So just tap and sprinkle, and then if you want more, just add a few more to your cup. That's kind of insurance that you don't like dump your whole container into your art piece. So I'm really, where my gold is, I'm gonna be very generous. Let's really make that sparkle. Then we'll just add a few more here and there and across the top. Tapping out. Look how pretty. I know y'all can't see like the bubbles and what the seed beads have done. I'm gonna try to get up close enough that you can see those beads and the bubbles in the gold. Can you see that? It is spectacular. Oh, it looks so good. And you know what, Rebecca, if I had red coffee today, I'd probably pass out. I've not had hardly any sleep, and things have just been too crazy. Let me scoot that back down. So that is how we finish out our abstract.